Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. PHARAOH, a new era is out, we can start playing it. I've posted on the channel a video recapping what you can expect with this game, what is new versus the old version, because it's not just about, a sort of modernization of the graphics, there's much more than that. So it's great for you to know all of this, so check in the video description below if you want to see this video. But otherwise, we're also going to do one episode per mission. Obviously, the first few ones will probably be short episodes, but the last one will probably be very long episodes. And today we dive in with the first one, which is obviously a bit of a tutorial, but it's great even if you know the game. We are in the pre-dynastic period, more than 3000 years before Christ, and we have a small band of nomads. Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Do note that we do have a defeat condition even in those, tutorial missions. If your death rises to 5000, then we'll have a defeat. So I won't read out loud all of the tooltips, tutorials that they're sharing in the game, because I'm guessing that if you're watching the video, it's probably also to learn through me and not just through the reading. But of course, like all city builders, the first thing to do is to build some houses. In this tutorial, they're telling us where to build. In the future, of course, we'll choose ourselves. Some of these have road, but some of these don't, right? So let's right away correct that. Build a few more roads where you can drag it like this. And here it is. Like all impression games, it's important to not block the road, right? They're all coming from there. If you block this completely, they have nowhere to come from, right? So things will start to get destroyed. But here it is, we have all of our people coming. You probably already see one of the big differences, right? The visual style is quite different. Some people I know hate it, some people love it. It's already important to remember that you can still play the old version, right? And at least for me, it's not always about the graphics, but also much more about the gameplay in a city builder like this. So anyway, we have our people coming. We can also, of course, speed up the time if needed. And of course, right now, these houses are very basic. So we're going to need to upgrade them. Right, to upgrade them, we're going to start giving them something. You can see here, this house cannot evolve as it does not have access to even the most primitive water source. So this is what we need to do first. We're going to services, hygiene, and we have a well that obviously needs to be also in a place where there is water. So you can see here, there's a bit of grass. That means we can build it. Over here, we could not build it. Yeah, and our houses are already upgrading before our eyes. So now this is a sturdy hut, and to evolve, it will need a supply of food from a local bazaar. This will be, the next challenge. We're going to build a hunting lodge. Again, they tell us where to. Now, a big change is that many of those buildings you can rotate. And on top of this, you can see where the entry and exit points, where the spawning and despawning points are in green and red. Importantly, in the option over here, you can choose your recruitment system. You can have recruiters, which is the normal historic system where each building will send a recruiter on the road, and the recruiter needs to find a house to get access to, the workforce. Or you can choose a global work labor pool where every building has access to the workforce if it's connected to a road. I think the recruiter system was definitely interesting and part of what makes those games a bit different than many new ones. So I've selected that, we'll play with this. On the other hand, I did change one thing, which is the worker population. Historically in those games, you had a sort of age simulation. When your people join your city, they're usually young and then they grow old. Which means that also if you let the game run, if your game, for example, you have a perfect city, but you let your city run, at some point your people get old, and therefore they don't work anymore. And so you have big sort of swing in your working population, in your unemployment. I think, while this is very realistic, this is also not so great a mechanic for me. So we're going to just choose fixed worker ratio, where 40% of the population will always be working. So it's not a cheat in the sense that everybody is working. You actually have people, that are too young and too old to work, but at least that number stays the same, which I think, really is a good one. So anyway, we have our hunters, right? They are close enough to the population to be able to work, but now we need to store in a granary or food. By default, I have actually selected that all storage will accept nothing. This way it's really on me to decide, what will be accepted. And so here we're going to accept now the meat, but I could choose to not accept something else. And then we need the bazaar to distribute the food, right? We're going to put it here. What's important is that this is definitely based on the worker system, right? So this lady from the bazaar, when she comes out, right, she arrives at the crossroad, she could go different ways, right? She could go this way, she could go that way. So we need to start putting some roadblocks to make sure that she goes around this, but not so much over here, right? So for example, let's make sure we block her here. And over there, we're also gonna want to block her, right? So this way, she's really limited to getting the food over here and then distributing it in this corner there. All our houses are getting prettier, these houses are food, right? But they also got some new risk. Now in services, we have unlocked the firehouse, the architect post, and we had the well already before. So as the name suggests, the firehouse is to prevent fire and the architect post is to prevent building from collapsing, right? So we need to put both. I don't think they tell us where, so we can put them anywhere, right? This is obviously needs to stay also in this corner over here and not outside, right? That would be a problem. So we have a fire and we want an architect too. Now we do have access to a new type of water because these wells are not great supply. It's poor water and get you sick. It doesn't bring great desirability. This one is clean water, but it definitely also needs to be really built in a place that has access, to water underground. So over here you cannot, but here I can. And here it is, we have victory on the first mission. I actually forgot to change this into high difficulty. We're going to do that for the next episode. In this one, it really doesn't change anything, right? It's just a tutorial. But for the next episode, we will play on the hard difficulty. If you want to see that, don't hesitate to check the video that will appear now on the screen or to subscribe to the channel if the next one hasn't been posted yet. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.